It being 10:30, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Greater Lafourche Port Commission of July 11, 2018 to order. Mr. Dwayne Bruce, will you lead us in pledge of allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Please remember to turn your cell phone down. Next, Mr. Sherby, roll call, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Seat A, Chucky Sherman here. Seat B, Perry Gisclair.
Here.
Seat C, Chris Godet.
Here.
Seat D, Rodney Gisclair.
Here.
Seat E, Curtis Pierce.
Here.
Seat F, Larry Griffin.
Here.
Seat G, John Nelson.
Here.
Seat H, Jimmy Guidry.
Here.
Seat I, Randy Adams.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sherby. Next is swearing in of the new board member of Seat I, Mr. Randy. Up with our illustrious attorney.
I, Randy Adams, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of this state, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent upon me as a commissioner of the Greater Lafourche Port Commission, Seat I, to the best of my ability and understanding, so help me God.
Welcome, Mr. Adams, and as you all know, Mr. Adams is Mr. Vinn's son-in-law, and he will be replacing Mr. Vinn until the November 6th election.
Yeah, through the end of 2018.
Through a 20,
Correct.
yes.
So with the entire family here, and at last meeting, Mr. President, the board approved a resolution honoring Mr. Irvin Vinn Bruce. So we'd like to present the family with a memento of that occasion.
Yes. You want to go all down?
Yeah.
We'll try to take a picture if we can. It's a large room, you know?
Yeah.
Can we get some, come in front of us? John, more important.
Yes.
All righty, thank you. This is Bruce, Arlene, this is for you, and I know you look at it very often. So have a kiss, please. Thank you very much. And you know you're all welcome here anytime. I mean, you know, to come reminisce and to come look or to come find out information. For the many years that he was on the commission, y'all are all welcome. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Mr. Bruce will be sadly missed by everyone. Next is approve the minutes of the June 13th, 2018 regular meeting and the June 27th, 2018 special meeting.
Move.
Second. Moved by Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Millerson. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next is Executive Director's report. Mr. Chiasso.
Thank you, Mr. President. First on the agenda is our Northern Expansion projects. Northern Expansion, Slip C, 939-foot west bulkhead, Angelette Piciola. Mr. Larry Piciola.
Yes, this project was complete. Sea Level was the contractor. We're waiting to receive the recorded substantial completion. Once we know the exact recordation date, we'll know when the 45 days remain before we can pay him his retainage. He has completed all the punch lists, so we're just waiting.
All right.
Any question?
Okay, Northern Expansion, Slip C, 939-foot west sweep dredge.
Okay, the contract on this job is Magnolia Dredging and Dock. They're dredging in front of the 939-foot bulkhead. They're supposed to complete either Thursday afternoon or Friday morning, and we will do our after dredge survey on Monday.
Okay.
Any question?
Thank you, Mr. Larry.
Thank you, Mr. Larry.
Northern Expansion, Slip C, 1,671-foot east bulkhead, Piciola and Associates. Joe.
Crosby Dredging is the contractor. They're continuing to work on welding and tying tie rods and different components of the bulkhead like that. They are on schedule, but the due date is September 12th. Depending on the weather, I mean, it's going to be tight, I think, because of the weather. But they are proceeding and making good progress.
Any question?
Okay, Northern Expansion, Slip C, 1,671-foot east sweep dredging.
Yes, we started advertising for bids. We'll receive bids on July 31st at 2 p.m.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
And mitigation dredge of Slip D, J. Wayne Plaisance Engineers. John.
Okay, Crosby Dredging is the contractor on this project. They reached substantial completion on June 15th. There's a item on your agenda later on for that. So we just finalizing the quantities and days.
Okay.
Any question? Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Airport projects. Richard.
Month of June, as far as operations concerned, 2,660 operations, 12,792 passengers, 20,129 vehicles. So we're still busy and doing quite well as far as operations are concerned. Taxiway ALED project. I met with DDG and with the superintendent or contractor yesterday, and we looked at the 3 issues that are outstanding. We're hoping to get those resolved, and next month get you final approval for to finish this one up. So that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Richard. Other projects. Section 203 feasibility study, GIS engineering. They gave us an update on Monday evening at our committee meetings. The environmental impact statement draft report is being completed. We should have a final draft by the end of this month that will then be submitted to the Corps of Engineers District Office, and they will be putting it out for public notice and on the Federal Register, and then that'll be a 60-day public commenting period, and things are continuing to move along on the rest of that report with time frame of sometime in November to have a final full report to submit to the Assistant Secretary of the Army's office in Washington, D.C. Any questions on that? Okay, the LA 308 Airport Access Improvements Project, Piciola and Associates.
We do think we have all the paperwork and documentation necessary that EDA has requested of us. We have sent that information to them, and we're expecting to get approval to advertise for bids.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. And the LA1 Phase 2 Leeville Mitigation Dredge Project, Angelette Piciola.
Yes, the contract on this job was Magnolia Dredging and Docks. This project is complete, is out of the lien period, but they still have not completed their punch list. And once they complete the punch list, we will release the retainage. That will not happen until August. They are working at the port, they're shorthanded, they don't have the personnel to go and fix up the damage they did to the marsh in Leeville.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right.
This time I'd like to ask the board for a motion and a second to deviate from the agenda and put LA1 Coalition before public comment. Need a motion and a second. Moved by Mr. Melanson, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, Henri, yes.
Good morning, gentlemen. Work on Segment E by James Construction Group is gearing up. The coalition would like to remind the traveling public to be patient and be cautious in the construction area, as the contractor will have flagmen directing traffic at times during the construction zone. The coalition met with the governor and Secretary of Transportation yesterday in Baton Rouge. While the LA1 project was just one of several industry issues discussed, we had a 10-minute time slot with the governor. And the Secretary will host a follow-up meeting this month with the coalition to discuss several funding ideas that could be part of a finalized funding package. All of the potential funding components have merits and they have challenges. Our follow-up meeting will look for an agreed-upon best strategy forward in amassing the $343 million needed to build out the remaining 8.3 miles of the elevated structure. The port and the coalition are scheduled to meet with the U.S. Department of Transportation for a debriefing of the past infra grant application later this month and to discuss what should be further or less stressed in a 2019 application submission for the project. Any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Henri.
you very much.
Okay.
Next is public comment, and what I'd like to do is call Ms. Annette Fontana up, since you know that we are getting in the election process between qualifying and reports. I think she's here tonight to discuss a little bit and to explain the process to us.
Well, thank you. Good morning. Qualifying is next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at the clerk's office. We're ready for you. We received all the packets from the Secretary of State's office. The fees for Greater Lafourche Port Commission are $75. If you are a Republican or a Democrat, you do have to add an additional $75 for the central committees. So we don't take personal checks, just for y'all to be prepared. We have take cash, money orders, certified checks. Tara is available. She's been fielding a lot of calls in relation to qualifying. That's Tara Lede with my office. You could call her at any time. She's ready to help you and to assist you. And like I said, we're ready for all of you that are going to qualify and any other candidates that plan to come next week. So,
Any question?
I'd like to thank Ms. Fontana for coming today. It was very nice of you, and hope to see you soon again.
thank y'all.
I'd like to thank you and see you Wednesday. Next, we have some candidates that would like to speak, and first I'd like to recognize Judge Walt Lanier.
Good morning, all of y'all, and thank you for having me today. I just want to make a public announcement that I am seeking a First Circuit Court of Appeals election. Judge John Pettigrew from Terrebonne had served in that position for 20 years and is now retiring, so that position has been made available. For those of y'all that don't know me, I've been on the district bench in Lafourche Parish for 16 years, and I've been proud to serve y'all. I wish to seek that next level at the appellate level. I qualify at the same time as y'all do. Next week, I go to the Secretary of State in Baton Rouge in order to qualify, since it's considered a statewide, not statewide, but a state-level position. I want to wish all of y'all that are seeking re-election and any individuals who are new to the position that are seeking it, the best of luck, and thank y'all for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Walt.
Next, I'd like to ask if there's other candidates that would like to speak.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Kale, and I would like to announce my candidacy for Gray Lafourche Board Commission, Seat I, formerly held by the late Mr. Urban Vinbruth and recently appointed Mr. Randy Adams. I am the son of Errol and Lucy Shermy Kale, and the grandson of the late Walton and Pearl Duffy Shermy, and the late Loris Kale Jr. and Patty Gisclair Kale. I have been married to Nicole Bayer Kale for 13 years, and Nicole is the daughter of Paul and Wanda Dufresne Bayer. Nicole and I have 2 daughters, Neely, age 9, and Marley, age 8. I have over 15 years experience in the oil and gas industry. I feel that my experience in today's market of the oil and gas industry could continue to lead Port Fourchon in the positive direction that is trending and going in today. I feel that today's market, I can help in aiding the demands of the current and future tenants that we have and are going to come to our port. I firmly believe that Port Fourchon is the economic engine that controls and fuels the 10th Ward, Lafourche Parish, our state, and our country. With the continued positive growth and development of Port Fourchon, I think we could continue to create jobs for our future generations, for our kids, our grandkids, and many generations to come after that. I also believe that the continued draft of the port, to reach a draft of 50 feet, we could venture out into attracting other businesses outside of the oil and gas industry and diversify the port some. So when we do have an economic downturn in the oil and gas industry, we can still have some sustainability outside of it and continue to create jobs. I feel that we can venture into maybe some cargo, small cargo ships, container ships, something like that. I believe that's something we can look into once we reach a draft of 50 feet. Also, by reaching a draft by 50 feet, I firmly believe we could attract business in the oil and gas industry of deep water, drill ships, semi-submersible rigs that we're losing out to deeper ports across the Gulf. In closing, I, Chris Colley, humbly ask for your support and vote on November 6th election. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Mike?
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Charles Michael Calais, but everyone knows me as Mike. I'm married to the former Blanche Bouvier of La Rose. We're blessed with 4 children and 4 grandchildren. My parents are Gloria Calais and the late Harold Calais of Golden Meadow. I was raised in Galliano and Golden Meadow, and have been a resident of Cutoff for the last 30 years. I'm an LSU graduate with a degree in business management. I worked much of my career in Abdon Calais Offshore, a Golden Meadow-based, family-owned offshore supply vessel company, started by my grandfather in 1948. I've worked in Abdon Calais Offshore in various positions since 1988, and becoming CEO in 2008. In 2013, we sold all of our marine vessels and oversaw the transformation of our company into a commercial real estate company that does business in 3 parishes. Additionally, I'm a member of the board of directors and a shareholder of United Community Bank, which operates 9 branches in 5 parishes. I have extensive knowledge in financial management and budgeting and I want to use my experience to help our community. I'm a member of the Lady of the Sea General Hospital Board of Commissioners, and I previously served on the Housing Authority of Lafourche Parish Board from 1996 to 2010. I've held many leadership positions on the local, regional, and statewide levels in the Knights of Columbus, and I've been an active member since 1985. I'm a past president of the Rotary Club of Golden Meadow, and I've been a member since 1993. I serve my church as the chairman of the building committee, as a member of the finance committee, and by assisting at church services. I also serve on the boards of several other charitable service organizations. I was appointed as an interim commissioner for Seat E on the Greater Lafourche Port Commission for 4 months last year after the death of Mr. Wilbert Collins. Port Fourchon and the South Lafourche Airport have significant value for our community, and my experience as an interim port commissioner, as a vessel operator, and as a real estate manager make me uniquely qualified to work with the commissioners and staff of our ports as we continue to bring good jobs and economic growth to our community. If given the honor to serve you, I promise that I'll work hard for you to secure a better future for our children and generations to come. I humbly ask for your vote and support for Port Commissioner Seat H on the Greater Lafourche Port Commission. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else? As you know, qualification is on 18th, 19th, and 20th, and we do not have another regular meeting before that. So I would like to ask if perhaps the commissioners would want to say their intentions. If they want to announce that they're running, we could go on down and just so the public can know who's running and not running on the port for re-election. Maybe start with Chucky. Chucky.
Okay. My name is Harris Chucky Sheremy Jr. I've been on the board for 18 years, the last 6 as secretary. When we started on the port, our budget was at $13 million. I think now we're over $60 million. I would like to continue seeing the growth of the port and help this community out. Please, I'm not going to keep it short. Please consider me. I'm Seat A, and vote for me. And your vote would be well appreciated, and I humble your support. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name's Chris Gode. I've been on the Port Commission and serving in Seat C for the last 5.5 years since our last regular election. The last 2.5 years I've served as board vice president. In my time here, I've participated in many very important meetings with the Corps of Engineers, the Federal Aviation Administration, U.S. Department of Transportation, Maritime Administration, members of Congress and Senate, as well as members and personnel at the Coast Guard headquarters. In this work we've done in all these meetings and relationships that we've built with these agencies help to promote and push our future of this port, the projects that we're working on. And I want to express my intent to continue working in that capacity and running for re-election for Seat C. So thank you for your consideration.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Rodney Jusclair. I've been serving as commissioner for Seat D for the past 2.5 years, and along with Chris, we have met with many federal agencies, local agencies, and government officials, along with the public, over the last 2.5 years of my tenure. And I will be seeking re-election and qualifying next week, and I humbly ask for your support in the coming election. Thank you.
Mr. Pierce.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Curtis Tom Pools Pierce, and and I'm seeking to be reelected again for this seat, for the Greater Lafourche Port Commission, CD. That had become a long time wish of mine way back, and it's because of you, the kind, generous, and heartwarming people of the 10th Ward. You decided to put me in this seat, and I'm grateful for that. I'd like to continue to serve you in this capacity. And the reason I'm in this seat is because Mr. Wilbert Collins passed away months prior to that election, back in October of last year. So I'm new at it, I'm a rookie, but I too attended many of these meetings with Chris and Rod and a few other people, and I've learned quite a bit. But I'm coming to you today, again, the citizens of the 10th Ward, and I'm going to ask you to support me again and to elect me, re-elect me into this seat. If you choose to cast your vote for me, and I would greatly appreciate it. And one thing else before I close, I'm asking you to please practice your right, your free right as a citizen, and go vote this coming November. And don't forget, when you're voting, tampos.
Thank you. As you all know, my name is Perry Gisclair. I've been on the port for 11 and a half years. The last 6 years, I have served as president. I am running because I feel I am uniquely qualified candidate with experience in operations of the port and an established history of success in overseeing improvements at both the port and the airport, and proven leadership to get the job done in the best way possible for the tenants and the community. I ask for your continued support in the upcoming election, as I am seeking re-election for the Greater Lafourche Port Commission, Seat B. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Larry Griffin, representing Seat F. And it has been a pleasure representing you, the people of the 10th Ward. After all, this is your port. You voted for it, you'll tax yourself for it, and anything that has to do with the 10th Ward, I'm for it. Anything that comes up to the board, I study it and see if it's going to create jobs. And that's what I'm for, create jobs for the local people that's at the 10th Ward. And I always had that in mind, to making, any job that comes up or business that comes up, see if it involves the port and the local people. I'm announcing my candidacy for the re-election. I've been here 25 years. So I'm announcing my candidacy for re-election, and I hope that you'll consider me in November. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Mr. Nelson.
Morning, my name is John Mellisa. I sit on Seat H. I've been a commissioner for around 7 years. I serve as the treasurer and the finance chair. I'm a Nicholls State graduate of business administration, and I'd like to pledge my continued support for the expansion of the port, to continue to gain the access capital funding through our network in continuing our progress here, and putting the mechanisms in place to continue the growth of the airport. And I would humbly like to ask for your vote, because I am seeking re-election. And Mr. Jimmy, I'm going to miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Meloson. My name is Jimmy Guidry. I've been both an employee and a commissioner with the port, affiliated with the port now for over 30 years, 32 for a fact. And I've just decided that it was time to pull back and let somebody else take the reins. So I am announcing that I will not be seeking re-election this coming term. Thank you, and I've enjoyed working with every one of you. Really enjoyed working with all the commissioners. It's always been a unit that's been very agreeable. We don't have many arguments, none that I can remember, actually. And like I said, it's just been a pleasure serving the people. It's been a good ride, and I'm just gonna not seek re-election. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Randy Adams. I want to thank the commissioner for appointing me to this seat. It's been a privilege and an honor to have this position of Mr. Venn. I'm following in Jimmy's footsteps. I have no plan on running this election.
Thank you, Randy. Again, Jimmy, and I'm sure all the commissioners feel the same, and all the employees that you have worked with over the last 32 years. We'll miss you, and I know you'll be around. You won't be a stranger. So if you need any of us or any of the, don't hesitate. You know, you and your wife have been there, and we can be there for you always, is what I'm saying. Again, we'll miss you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you for serving, Mr. Venn.
Okay, next we move into committee reports. First committee, Executive Committee. Members are Perry Gisclair, Chairman, Larry Griffin, Chucky Shermy, John Mellison Jr. First on the agenda is consider approving the request from Complex Drilling to sublease site GLF 190 to Expert Riser Solutions.
Okay, Complex Drilling has this lease. You see that triangle on the screen, JLF 190 off of Minor Shermy Road. They are looking to sublease that to Expert Riser for storage of riser. Both Complex Drilling and Expert Riser have the same ownership, so it's, the recommendation is to approve.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next is consider approving an amendment to the TampNet tower lease.
Okay, there were some changes that needed to be made just in elevation on the tower to make it exactly where the equipment is actually located. A recommendation is to approve.
Moved by Mr. Gisclair, second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next is consider approving the sale of surplus lights at the airport.
Okay, we have several surplus items from the airport, lights and signage, because of the just recently completed or nearing completion of the new taxiway lighting and fixtures that were put out there. So we want to surplus those items. We have 3 items here that have multiple kind of items with them. But item 1 is a used runway and taxiway light fixtures, minimum bid of $500. Item 2, used runway and identifier lights, minimum bid of $50. And item number 3, airport signs, minimum bid of $200. And those will go up on govdeals.com for surplus sale. Recommendation to approve.
Moved by Mr. Shermy, second by Mr. Gode. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next, we go into Permits and Waterways Committee. Members are Chucky Shermy, Chairman, Larry Griffin, Perry Gisclair, and Curtis Pierce. Mr. Shermy.
Thank you, Mr. President. First thing we have is review permits. First, we have interstate exploration, proposed prop wash, access and structures for Harrison #1 well, proposed temporary removal of pile and gate structures. We will be sending a letter on prop washing that we're not in favor of this. Next, we have Adrian Danos, unauthorized placement of aggregate field of 0.2 acres of saline marsh and 0.2 acres of open water bottom. Then we have Harvest Pipeline, proposed pipeline repairs of existing CAM pipelines, approximately 1,659 cubic yards will be displaced. Then we have Interstate Exploration, proposed prop wash, access, and structures for the Grandison Trust #1. Approximately 24,793 cubic yards of water bottom will be disturbed. We're also sending a letter against prop washing on this one. Then we have LLOX, proposed to install and maintain 1 6-inch pipeline to produce the Castec Lafourche LP #1 that we have. And that's all we have for permits, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sherby. Next is Construction and Development Committee. Members are Larry Griffin, Chairman, Perry Gisclair, Rodney Gisclair, and Randy Adams. Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. President. As y'all all know, this used to be Mr. Vin Bruce's project. He did it for many years, construction and development. I'm honored to replace him. Well, I won't be able to replace him because I don't have the deep voice that he had, but I hope that I can do him, serve him honorably. So, okay, first on the agenda is consider adopting a resolution for capital outlay, guaranteeing port matching fund for minor Jeremy Senior Road Pavement Project.
Okay, so in the capital outlay process of this last legislative session, we were approved for $1.7 million in Priority 1. So that allows us to hopefully move forward with this resolution. It guarantees the $621,667 of match that we need for this project. So recommendation is to approve.
Moved by Mr. Pierce, second by Mr. Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Next is consider approving the substantial completion certificate for Crosby dredging for mitigation dredge slip D.
Okay, this project is substantially complete. Date of substantial completion, if approved, will be June 15th, 2018.
Moved by Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Guidry. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That completes my project, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Not only you don't have the voice, you don't have the guitar. Next, we move on to Finance Committee. Members are John Mellison, Jr., Chairman, Jimmy Guidry, Chris Gaudet, and Perry Gisclair. Mr. Mellison.
Man, you guys are a hard act to follow. Good morning, and thank you, Mr. President. We'll begin by consider approving payments of the June 2018 invoices and recognizing those expenditures over $10,000. First, we have Crosby Dredging, $927,497.72. That is for mitigation dredging of Slip D and the Slip C Phase 3 bulkhead project. Next, we have GIS Engineering, LLC, $222,923.97, and that is for the Section 203 Integrated Feasibility Study. Next, we have Magnolia Dredge and Dock, LLC, $203,274.81, and that's for Slip C, 939 linear feet of west sweep dredging. Item 4, Water Institute of the Gulf, $61,200. That is for the Phase 1 screening of dredging alternatives. Item 5, Picciola and Associates, $53,663.59. And that's for Slip C Phase 3 sweet dredging, Slip C Phase 3 1,671 linear feet of east bulkhead, and floodgate, boathouse, and mitigation bank permit. Next, we have Epic Aviation, $31,998.99, and that is fuel for resale at the airport and truck rental. Item 7, Angelette Picciola, $25,647.12, and that is for the Minus Jeremy Senior Road paving and Slip C 939 linear feet west sweep dredging. Item 8, Vision Communications, $24,733.26, phone, internet, and cable services. Item 9, Lafourche Parish Water District Number 1, $18,837.50, and that's for the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement for Minus Jeremy Road water line. Item 10, Dell, $16,464.61, that is for desktop computers. Item 11, Rebel Services, $15,520.25. That is for the airport's fuel management system installation and fuel tank inspections. Item 12, Bank of America, $15,416.31, port credit card charges. Item 13, AAPA, $13,225, and that is for 2018 and 2019 dues. Item 14, Grand Isle Shipyard, $13,072.25, and that is for contract labor at the airport. Item 15, expert technology, $11,897.30, and that is for contract labor for IT and security camera systems equipment. That, along with our other expenditures, brings us to a total of $2,263,020.80. And Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion we accept these expenditures.
Moved by Melson.
Move.
Second by Mr. Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next, as discussed in Monday night committee meetings, we need to consider approving the unaudited financial statements from January 2018 to June 2018. And Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion we accept this.
Moved by Mr. Melson. Second by Mr. Gode. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And last, we have consider approving out-of-state travel and training. We have Director Chasson and External Relations Manager Joni Tuck attending the Infrastructure for Rebuilding America at the U.S. Department of Transportation in Washington, D.C., July 30th through the 31st. Next, we have External Relations Manager Joni Tuck attending the AAPA Energy and Environment Seminar along with the Environment Committee meetings in New Jersey, September 10th through the 13th. Next, we have Deputy Port Director Davy Burrow attending the Offshore Wind Executive Summit to discuss the parallels of wind, oil, and gas as a panelist in Houston, Texas, September 23rd through the 25th. And last, we have Director of IT April Danos attending the AAPA IT Committee meeting for security as a security subcommittee chair in Nova Scotia, September 25th through the 28th. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we accept these travel and training requests.
Moved by Mr. Melson, second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. President, this concludes the financial report.
Any other business? Any public comment?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion we adjourn.
Moved by Mr. Sherby, second by Mr. Gode. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming.